All right, welcome back. Another episode of Friday Night Vintage. And the first up is a card that I was originally looking for at last year's National. And it's this 1935 Diamond Stars Jimmy Fox. Now, it's a low grade. There was actually a very nice PSA 8 copy that became available after the National from a big time card dealer on Instagram and eBay. And I just couldn't work an offline transaction fast enough with him before it was scooped up with a best offer, which actually was lower than what I was going to pay him. But I think for him, I think moving the car was more important than whatever additional nickel and dime profits that maybe I would have brought to the table by working with me. So that's fine. But here's this 1.5 that I put in my watch list. I think it started back in October. I don't remember, but it was a while ago, and it originally listed for $5.99, and there it sat, unsold, over and over again, relisted, unsold, and finally the price dropped. And I think, and I could be wrong, I think it might have actually sold a couple of times, but then got relisted for whatever reason, or maybe it just never sold at all until I bought it like last week. But I looked at it long enough, and it turns out that the eBay seller was also somebody I was connected with on Instagram. And, it just made it super easy to reach out and say, what are you looking for on the card? And he was asking 3.25. And I said, fine. I'm not going to nickel and dime him, I'll give you $275, then we settle at $300, that kind of bullshit. I said, whatever. I'm already avoiding sales tax, right? So I thought 3.25 was fair based on other comps, in particular an SGC2, which honestly looked like had been queefed on by Mama Fratelli from the Goonies, that sold for like close to $400. So this nicely centered in 1.5 with a clean surface, I thought was a pretty good value. Now, yeah, there's a crease here that goes through, from the bottom to the top, but, it doesn't really stand out. You have to look real close to spot it, but I'll take that and the value this card brings to the table than an uglier, higher grade copy. And I've seen 4s and 5s go for like $400-$500, sometimes higher. I think I saw a PSA 7 go for around $1,100. But I've been looking for this card for a while. So again, the best, I would say, a nice combination of value and eye appeal with this 35 Diamond Stars Jimmy Fox SGC. So there's that, and that goes with the theme of pre-war Hall of Fame catchers there with the Bill Dickey. And then next up is a card I looked at also maybe 4 or 5 months ago originally when they were going for like 2,000-ish, somewhere around there. And it's Bart Starr here. And this is a wonderfully centered 6 example that I got for $1,300. It was originally listed for $1,600, and then had a lot of watchers on it, and the seller sent out an offer to everybody, and I snapped it up at $1,300 because $1,300 is like a third of what a 7 goes for. And with that centering, I thought, man, it was worth it and definitely a good value. Oftentimes these are not centered very well. I was, in my mind, in my OCD collecting tendencies, I thought, well, let me hold out for a 6.5 to go with that Johnny Unitas rookie back there. But that's a pretty tall order. And even if a 6.5 shows up, who's to say it's going to be centered this well? So, looking at it closer, it's, I suppose, like a nitpick, but it looks just about perfect to me. There is some edge wear indicative of a PSA 6 grade. And the seller had in the listing that there was some damage to the slab. I think that's just a byproduct sometimes of the ultrasonic welding process. So that didn't concern me. I ran my thumbnail around it to make sure it wasn't cracked and resealed somehow. That's one way to check and see if it's a good seal. But yeah, it's an older flip and definitely would look much better in the newer flip one of these days maybe. But yeah, so the Bart Starr rookie was on my wish list. And the prices kept dropping and dropping. So here we are. And I like to think $1,300 is going to be the lowest that we'll see this card with this kind of eye appeal on that grade. I don't know, but I don't really care. I wanted the card. I bought it. And so there's that. And so that will start off the year with a couple of key vintage pickups. One pre-war, 150s rookie quarterback, Hall of Famer. As always, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.